Good afternoon to everybody, and thank you very much to Reb David, to Carol Silva for sponsoring the Dvar Torah Ilui Nishmat, Reb David's son, Nisi Moshe, Zecher Tzadik Bracha, that the Neshama should have a Aliyah Began Eden. It's actually very interesting that the Yortzeit falls in Parshat Emor. Parshat Emor deals with all about kohanim, and Reb David is a kohen. So I hope that the Dvar Torah will be like apt the Ilui Nishmato. The Torah, the Parsha is called Emor el kohanim because that's how it starts. The Parsha speaks about all the laws pertaining to the kohanim, the extra stringencies in order to keep their kedusha, and then afterwards the Torah ends off with the inyanim of the moadim. But the whole inyan of kohanim seems at first glance to be what their function is, seems to be a little bit misleading or not accurate. We normally associate kohanim with their avodah, their service in the Beit HaMikdash. And that is obviously correct. And that's how the Parsha starts off, with all the laws pertaining to the Kedusha kohanim. And so also the Haftorah. The Haftorah also begins with the laws of what they have to wear, what type of tara they have, what are the clothes that they have to don, what happens that if they become impure, how they regain their purity, who they're allowed to marry. And all these things are centered around their service in the temple, in the Beit HaMikdash. But actually, as I say, this is a little bit misleading and not accurate, because what the Haftorah does stress in Pasuk 24 is that the kohanim have got a much broader function in Jewish society. It says, I read it first in the Hebrew, in Lashon HaKodesh. It says over there, Ve'etami yoru, which means that they should instruct my nation. Ben Kodesh L'chol, Ben Tamei L'Tor, concerning the difference between holy and secular and mundane, between that which is impure and that which is pure. So they not only people who serve in the Beit HaMikdash, but basically they're the teachers in Bnei Yisrael. And then it continues, Va'oriv heima yamdu le'mishpat b'mishpatai, and yishpatu ve'toratai ve'chokotai b'chol ma'adai. They also serve as the judges. The judges when there are matters of quarreling, when there's matters of litigation, then the kohanim, in the Haftorah says that's their function, to sort these things out. And you see, therefore, that in fact, I'd like to just point out that the Ibn Ezra says that if we look at the way that Parshat Kedoshim, the previous parasha, ends off, it's that a person is not allowed to go. It's a very severe prohibition. He's not allowed to go and seek out Oven Yidoni. Oven Yidoni were type of witchcrafts in which people they use this type of witchcraft in order to connect with the dead. And the next pasuk speaks about Emor el kohanim, that about the kedusha of the kohanim. So the Ibn Ezra says, what's the connection between these two things? The connection is because the kohanim are not only about what happens in the temple. The kohanim are there to be like the antidote, so to speak, of people who who always are consulting the occult. Dafka, the kohanim, have to be all about the message of life. Therefore, they're not allowed to come into contact with the dead. And they have to instruct people. They have to be the address, so to speak, that when a person's got problems, spiritual problems, other problems, then he doesn't go and consult wizards and witchcrafts and make seances. Where does he go to? He goes to the Kohen. And I'd like to just say that it's very interesting that first of all, where does these qualities of Kona come from? That what is stressed in the Haftorah is that they serve as mediators, as judges, as instructors. It's already mentioned in the Torah by Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he blesses the tribe of Levi, so he says that they're basically two he speaks about two in V'zot HaBracha, basically two attributes of Levi. Number one, they had the utmost loyalty. They were the only tribe who never, ever, as the Rambam says, bowed down to Avodah Zarah. Their loyalty to Hashem was absolute, the entire tribe. And that's what makes them natural leaders, not only as people who have to be dedicated to the service of the Mikdash, but they are the paradigm of what it means to be loyal. And also, as between Ben Adam Nechavero, we know that the actual word Levi means to accompany. When Leah gave birth to her third son, she called him Levi. I always used to say, because what does Levi accompaniment got to do with the third son? Because the mother Leah held the one son, Reuven, in her one hand, and then in the other hand she had Shimon. Now all her hands are like sort of utilized. She needs someone else. Who's that? So now Yaakov will come with Levi and he'll accompany. So Levi is all about connections. Loyalty and connections is really what the function of a kohen is about. I'd like to conclude that, and just pointing out historically, in the last, let's say we like to take the last 100 and odd years, at the crossroads in Jewish history. Let's just look in the 21st century, let's say going up to the founding of Binyanat Israel. Who were the leaders, the rabbinic leaders in Am Yisrael? I mean, there were so many kohanim. It's unbelievable. I mean, just Lithuanian, Poland, Germany, they produced, but basically Lithuanian, Poland, every person was greater than the other. There were so many Gdolei Torah. But who stands out? There's no doubt that what stands out are the kohanim and Leviim. And I mentioned them, right? They are the Chofetz Chaim. They are Rav Kook. They are the Soloveitchik dynasty, who were Leviim. They are the Meshech Chochmah. They are the first chief rabbi of Medinat Yisrael, was Rav Yitzchak Isaac Halevi, a Levi Herzl. You see that the Leviim and the Kohanim, they were mamash leaders at this critical time in Jewish history. You see that the leaders, I mean, they were greats. I'm not in no way, God forbid, to belittle Reb Chaim Oizer or anyone, but amongst the real leaders who showed a direction where we should go, Chofetz Chaim and Rav Kook, they were the Kohanim. So this is what this Parsha and the Haftorah are saying. The Parsha speaks about the Kohanim as people who are kadosh and are involved in the Beit HaMikdash, and the Haftorah supplements it by emphasizing that the whole function of the Kohanim is not to be looked narrowly as their function as being in the temple in the Beit HaMikdash, but it's broader. They, as being people who are kadosh, people being loyal, people who know how to connect, their function is really to lead the Jewish people, to be Nevi'im for the Jewish people, to give direction to the Jewish people. That is what the true function of the Kohanim are. Shabbat Shalom Lekulam.